All right, so welcome to the Ash Cash Show. Every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the Financial Inspiration Show. Every day giving you finance from your perspective, all inspiration, no hype. And if it's your first time, thank you so much for joining us. If you are back, then welcome back. And, just want to continue to give you financial education, financial inspiration, everything you need to know to get your mind and your money right on a consistent basis. Today, we're starting the show. As always, we start with Inspirational Word of the Day. Then the second part of the show, we talk about what's in the financial news. And then lastly, we do what is called Ask Ash Cash, where you guys ask your financial questions. And so today's inspirational word of the day is dedicated to chaos, right? And so one of my guys, my guy Franchise, put this post up the other day that I thought was interesting, and it says, "Without order, nothing exists. Without chaos, nothing evolves." Right? And I just thought that was powerful, Without order, nothing exists. But without order, without chaos, nothing evolves, right? And so what does that mean? Right? It's going to take, it's going to take a certain level of discipline. It's going to take a level of doing things in a routine kind of way, right? Order, right? So like when you find something that works, right? When you find something that works, when you find a formula, when you find something that is conducive to your lifestyle, right? You find order in it, right? You find order, you do it that way. But, right, without chaos, nothing evolves. So I want you to hear that again. Without order, nothing exists. Without chaos, nothing evolves, right? Blessing 3D, yeah, I gotta pin something, right? And so think about that. For a long time, we have found order in normalcy, right? In the way we created our normal to be, right? And that was order, And so we had this order in our lives, and we created this life, and we had this order and the way things worked and the way things continue to be. And the things that we have that we like, none of it would have existed, right? If there was no order, if we didn't, if we didn't have discipline, or if we didn't, if we had a job and we loved our job and we have to wake up every day, take a shower, get ready, and then go to work, and right? It was that order, it was that discipline, it was that thing that got us there. But in order for things to evolve, chaos has to happen, because nothing could be shaken up if everything stays the same. You never want to fix anything if everything stays the same. You never want to see if better even exists if everything stays the same. You know what I'm saying? I am 23. What up, my G? It's my money. PK, what up? So think about that, right? I'm saying that it's time for us to embrace, right? It's time for us to embrace chaos. Not in a way that, chaos is a bad thing, but chaos is actually the step that takes us into evolution, right? Right. My guy, I am 23 says the storms clear the path, right? Like the chaos is what allows evolution, because if without order, nothing exists. And so you have to have order, right? You want order. You want everything, you want to be disciplined. You want to follow, but are you following the right thing? Right? Is is order going in the right direction even, And so, it's one thing, it's one thing to say, okay, right, I have this order in my life. Normal is working for me. But it's normal your best, right? It's normal bringing out your best. It's normal allowing you to live the life that you're supposed to live, right? Like chaos is necessary. Jamal says growth is uncomfortable. Chaos is necessary, right? Because because think about it. DJ Spontaneous says it forces you to rebuild better, right? So think about a storm. Think about having a storm, everything is in order. Then the storm breaks everything down and the storm clears the path. And then now you have to rebuild. And now when you rebuild, you're like, man, I already know that I can't build this house made of straw because this storm came through and tore this house down. And so now I'm going to do concrete foundations. Now I'm going to build a house in brick. You know what I'm saying? And so, it clears the path, but then it allows you to build. And so I love this, and I want y'all to keep that in mind, that without order, nothing exists. But without chaos, nothing evolves. And evolution is really what the name of the game is. If it wasn't for evolution, us humans in our form right now, we wouldn't exist in the way we exist. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for chaos, if it wasn't for evolution, Building Growth says, 2020 is a storm that we needed. I agree with that. I agree because on so many different levels, you know what I'm saying? Like on so many different levels, like you can't imagine or begin to imagine on so many levels why storms are important. You know what I'm saying? On so many different levels, you can't begin to imagine. Button Gross says Trump is also a storm we needed, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I've always been vocal about it. I am not a Trump supporter, but I've always been vocal about how he was needed. You know what I'm saying? Like without Trump being Trump, a lot of the blatant things that we had put under the rug that we thought was over, you know what I'm saying? I love Barack Obama, President Obama, but he put us to sleep, not intentionally, right? I wouldn't say it was intentionally, but I think that the symbolism of a black man in office made not just black people feel like the world was changing. It was everybody because the truth of the matter. Here's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that black people didn't put Barack Obama into office, right? We don't have the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. So I'm a banker, right? By profession. And so if as a banker, I do numbers. I don't deal with emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't deal with emotions. I don't deal with hyperbole, how people make it seem. I look at raw numbers, right? And when I look at the raw numbers, black people don't have enough power to put nobody in office. No one, right? Collectively, if we voted in a block, we could sway votes. We could sit back and wait and see where everybody else is going, and then tip the votes, right? We could do that, which is why in presidential races they call things swing states. Right, the states that have they say, Ohio is a swing state because you don't know which way Ohio is gonna go, and so they know what states, right, they guaranteed to have, and so once they have those states guaranteed, then you have these swing states that could go either way, and that's where the presidential campaigns they focus their energy on, right? So same thing for black folks. Black folks don't have the collective power to elect anybody. And so if we didn't vote by party and we voted by block, right? Then we could tip the vote because we have enough power there. But we didn't vote Barack Obama into office. It was white people, it was Hispanic people. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a collective that voted Barack Obama in. And so when Barack Obama got in, there was this sense of hope. Like, wow, if a black man could be president, right? Everybody, black people in particular was like, yo, the country's changing. White people, like, we got a black person in office. Like, it can't be racism. Things are changing, right? But what happened though is that put that rised up Boston Tea Party, or was it the Boston or the Tea Party, right? Which started the undertone of the racism and things of that nature, and then 2 terms, and then it birthed Donald Trump. But Styles Lewis says a necessary evil. That's what I believe, right? It was a necessary evil because it now, Donald Trump talks in his truth. And so in his truth, it's obvious, what, some of his, it's obvious morally where he stands. It's obvious what he cares about. It's obvious who his constituents and his base are, you know what I'm saying? And so even though I don't support, his, I don't support, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. It was still necessary though, right? It's necessary, it was necessary to have him in office, you know what I'm saying? To shed light on a lot of things, it's necessary, all this chaos that's happening. And so just keep that in mind, I think that's important. Keep that in mind. Anything that's going through your life right now, and to be honest, I don't know anybody who doesn't have some form of chaos in their life right now. But it's how you react to the chaos. How are you viewing the chaos? Are you viewing the chaos as chaos that, why is this happening? Or are you understanding that this is part of your evolution, that in order for you to become the new and best you that you have to be, you can't do things the same way. You know what I'm saying? Things have to be shaken up. Like you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, get into a space where you're just doing things different. You have to. It's not something that you could, eat, like if not making a choice is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like you could, while chaos is happening, you can try to maintain a level of normalcy, just so you could feel normal while chaos is happening. You could try to do that, but all that's gonna happen is that when the chaos is done, you're gonna put back something that's obsolete, that doesn't fit anymore. And because it's obsolete, there's just the word in itself means non-sustainable, right? And so if you just sit back and you say, yo, the world is the world, and I'm gonna let it do what it do, but I'm gonna try to hold on to this level of normalcy, and I'm gonna let things rock. I'm gonna let things be the way they were. And while you're doing that, while you're allowing that to happen, you're making a choice to live in a world that's the world of make believe, because now you're trying to rebuild something that's not real, that's obsolete, and this obsolete thing is not going to be sustainable. Or as you're going through the chaos, like everybody else is going through it, you're putting down a solid foundation. You are putting down a solid foundation. If you understand, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And I actually write this in my new book, that I got coming out soon called The Great Financial Reset. And, I talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where there are, there are layers, right? There's four different layers, to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? And so if you got or five layers, right? You have the physiological layer, right? You have the physiological layer, which is the basic stuff that you need. You need air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, right? Like that's the basic stuff that humans need. Then you go one level up, and then there's safety needs, right? You need personal security, employment, resources, health, and property, right? That's the next need, to secure yourself. Then after that, you need love and belonging, right? So friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection, right? Then after that, then it's the esteem, right? So it's like respect, self-esteem, what's this? What's it say? Status, because I'll look at that. It's a different color, but status, recognition, strength, freedom, right? So that's the next level, and at the top of the level, at the top, right, is self-actualization, desire to become the most that you can be, right? It's like a pyramid. That's the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? But here, and I'll be honest with you, right? And here's where I feel like a lot of us have done it backwards, right? A lot of us have been, and it's all right. I think it's in messaging. It's in what we were taught. A lot of us have been starting at self-actualization, right? Meaning that, there's this desire to become the most that you can be. And that y'all might be like, yo, that shouldn't that be what you are wanting to do, right? And then other, some of us are starting at esteem, right? Like we want respect, we want self-esteem, we want status, we want to be recognized, we want strength, we want freedom, right? It's like, yo, that should be what we crave after first, right? But I'll be honest with you, as somebody who has started out that way, that's building the house with the roof first. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the roof of the house. Self-actualization is the roof. Respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom. That's the roof of the house. But think about these other things. If you don't have these other things, right? If you don't have these other things, then what good is self-actualization? What good is, respect, status, recognition, strength, and freedom? So hold that for a second. Hold that, right? Self-actualization, meaning becoming the most that you can be. Esteem, right? Respect, status, recognition, all that. That's the top of the roof. But what good is that if you don't have air? What good is that if you don't have water, if you don't have food, if you don't have shelter, if you don't have sleep to repair your body, right? If you don't have clothing, basic necessities, right? What good is self-actualization and esteem if you don't have personal security, right? You're vulnerable, right? What good is that if you don't have employment? Meaning whether you work for somebody or you make your own money, that you can sustain your life, right? What good is self-actualization? What good is become? In fact, I don't believe you could self-actualize if you don't have those basic needs. You can't self-actualize. Like, how can you be the best you could possibly be if you don't have the basics taken care of? Right? If you don't have the basics taken care of, if you don't have water, food, shelter, clothing, sleep, personal security, resources, money, health, right? If you don't have health, If you don't have a property, if you don't have a place to call your own, how can you self-actualize? You actually can't be the best that you can be, right? And so if you start there, if you start with, trying to be the best that you could possibly be, then you built the roof first. You didn't build a solid foundation. You built the roof first, right? And then after that is love and belonging, right? Friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. Think about all these stars that we've seen commit suicide, right? We've seen stars. We've seen people who are famous, people who we look like, yo, you got to have it all, right? Because we're looking at the roof only, right? We're only looking at that one space. We're looking at, the roof. We're looking at the fact that they look like they're self-actualized, right? So we're looking at that roof. We're saying, yo, you know what I mean? They living their best life, right? They living their best life. Yo, they got self-actualization. They got esteem. They got respect. They got status. They people recognize them. They're strong. They got freedom. They can do whatever they want. But the house wasn't built off of the foundation, and so they don't have anybody that they could call friends. They don't have no real friendships. They don't have intimate relationships. They don't have family. They don't have a sense of connection. So what is all of that worth? And so I believe, I'll be honest. I'm somebody that, I'm talking from my experience as well. You know what I'm saying? I've been in spaces where, from the outside looking in, people would be like, yo, you got your life all together. You know what I'm saying? From the outside looking in, it's like, yo, you got everything, but it was that self-actualization, right? Like people looking at me like, yo, Ash, you living your best life. Yo, Ash, you got respect, you got status. But then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that love and belonging, there's a piece of that missing where like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that calls me wants something. Like where's that intimacy? Where's that, you know what I'm saying? Like where's, all of these things. And so from a foundational level, if you don't build a solid foundation, you're going to get to that esteem level. You're going to get to that level of self-actualization, and then it's going to be built on nothing. It's going to easily come down. And so use this time. I'm going to read the quote one more time and then I'll move on. It says, without order, nothing exists. Without chaos, nothing evolves. And so I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to understand that the chaos that is happening right now is part of a way to, it's clearing out everything. It's a storm that needed to happen. I need you to understand that it's clearing a path for the new. And now you got to build a solid foundation. So I'm gonna pin this actually, because I got I got an ebook coming out, a new ebook coming out called The Great Financial Reset, and it is coming out really, really soon. thegreatfinancialreset.com. So I want y'all to go to thegreatfinancialreset.com, and I'm giving you 5 ways that you could thrive through any financial crisis. And so if anybody needs help, you know what I'm saying? Like if anybody needs help understanding, if anybody needs help understanding like, hey, how do I reset during these times, then go check out The Great Financial Reset. All right, cool. So let's see. I had some comments coming up. If Barack put people to sleep, Trump woke everybody up. Nah, facts. I agree with that. Like I don't think that there's no doubt in the minds that whatever was sleeping, whatever was in the wind, is up now, and that's why it seems chaotic. That's why it seems crazy. Now that's why it seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely woke people up. Bass Moreno in the building. Only way to shoot. Grand Rising. Blessings to all of you do. Enlighten us. Salute. I appreciate you. Bill with one hand, fight with the other. Facts of that. I like that. I like that a lot. Bill with one hand, fight with the other. Has anyone seen the documentary "I Am Not Your Negro"? I haven't. I'm a definitely check it out. My sister Dan says you're preaching this morning. Now I appreciate you. Trini Cherry, good morning. Is that the ebook that was coming that you was coming out with? Yes. Yeah, so it'll be out really, really soon. Physiological, I hate these words. Physiological safety, love, and belonging, esteem, self-actualization. This conditioning process for sure. What's up, Ice Cash? I'm cross-faded, but I love your book, Hustlenomics. Salute. The live is gonna be different. This live is gonna be different. Salute. Yeah, depression is real. Definitely need a book like that, Ash. Yeah, go check it out. The greatfinancialreset.com. Everything I just talked about, the Maslow hierarchy of needs, 5 steps to get out of a crisis, everything you need is going to be in that. So definitely check it out. Looking forward to checking it out. I appreciate you. Got to check out the replay for the first part. I logged in to some gems. Yeah, MJ the Soul. Yeah, definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? Because today's daily inspiration was about chaos, about order and chaos. All right. Let me, salute to Annette, on YouTube, Samaya Hill, on YouTube. Want to check in. Good morning. This inspirational segment is much appreciated. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. All right. So let's talk about what's in the news today, and I'll open it up for any questions. And so today, in the financial news, year-to-date markets. So the market is so year-to-date, NASDAQ is up 15.50%. S&P 500 is down 0.47%. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 7.25% year-to-date. Gold is up 25.02%. 10-year Treasury is down 133.3 basis points. Oil is down 32.46%. And so in Bitcoin news, so Bitcoin finally jumped above 10,000 for the first time in 6 weeks. So Bitcoin is doing its thing. And then in election news, elections are is less than 100 days away. And a new poll is showing that Joe Biden is leading the presidential, or is leading President Trump in 3 battleground states that Trump won in 2016. Let's see. All right, and then we got, so GOP stimulus relief package will extend federal eviction moratorium. Top House economic advisor says, right? And so the next round of coronavirus relief will extend the federal eviction moratorium that has protected millions of Americans from losing their home during the pandemic, a top White House advisor said Sunday. In an interview on CNN State of the Union, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow said Sunday that the Trump administration plans to lengthen the federal eviction moratorium, which expired on Friday. The eviction ban, which was included in the CARES Act legislation in March, covered renters living in buildings with federally backed mortgages. On Sunday, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said that a $1 trillion corona relief bill from Senate Republican will be released Monday. It includes another round of $1,200 stimulus checks, additional funding for elementary and secondary schools, and limited extension of the current unemployment benefit. The House, controlled by Democrats, passed the $3 trillion plan in May, but Senate Republicans rejected it. The package had an extension of $600 increase to the unemployment benefit, an additional $1,200 stimulus package, and more funding for testing and contract tracing. And so, I guess good news, bad news type of thing, right? So good news is that if you live in a building and you pay rent, and the building has a government mortgage, then tenants who can't afford to pay their rent, won't be evicted out of these places because the government is not going to take action on those landlords, right? What does that mean? That means if you can pay your rent, pay your rent. Doesn't mean, oh, I live in a government-backed mortgage place, I'm not going to pay my rent so I can save money. You can do that, but there's still bills, as a landlord, there's still bills, there's still things that need to be paid, even if it's not the mortgage still has to be paid, you know what I'm saying? So still pay your rent, but if you can't pay your rent, then don't kill yourself, don't worry, too much, because there's going to be a stay. Does that mean that you sit back and wait until unemployment runs out? No, you figure out how, I don't believe that anybody should be at the mercy of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so we should all be doing our best, right? Our absolute best, that we could kind of take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But that also means, though, that those renters that have private mortgages and it's not federally backed, there isn't a moratorium on evictions, right? And so just be diligent, right? Just be diligent. Make sure you're taking care of your finances. If you have to cut back, if you can't afford where you stay right now and you got to cut back, then you got to cut back. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't necessarily look at any temporary things that you have to do during the chaos to rebuild. Don't look at that as necessarily a bad thing. In other news, police declare riot in Seattle protest. They make arrests. And so Seattle police declared a riot Saturday following a large demonstration in the city's Capitol Hill neighborhood and deployed flash bangs and pepper spray to try to clear an area near where weeks earlier people had set up an occupied protest zone that stretched for several blocks. And so via Twitter, police said that they had made more than 24 arrests for assaults on officers, obstruction, and failure to disperse. They also said they were investigating a possible explosion damage to the walls of the city's East Precinct police station. And so authorities said rocks, bottles, fireworks, and mortars were thrown at police as they attempted to clear the area over the course of several hours, stretching into Sunday night. One officer was hospitalized with a leg injury caused by an explosive. In other news, rest in peace to Regis Philbin. He dies at age 88. So Regis, familiar face to TV viewers as an energetic and funny talk and game show host who logged more hours in front of the camera than anyone else in history of United States television, died at the age of 88. People magazine said on Saturday, citing a statement by his family. The magazine said Philbin died of natural causes on Friday, 1 month shy of his 89th birthday, quoting the statement. So rest in peace to Regis Philbin. All right, cool. I'm gonna open it up for any questions that you guys may have. This is the Ask Ash Cash segment of the show, and so you guys, you have questions, I have answers. Ask Ash Cash. All right, so if you have any questions, I don't know what's up with Facebook, but it doesn't look like Facebook is rocking again. So I might disconnect and reconnect and see if that works. But Facebook is not working. So if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, please put your comments in the comment box. If you are watching on Instagram, please put your questions in the question box. Young face is smiling. No questions. Just thank you for pushing me for years. Now, it's my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can't believe how easy it is. Exactly. Now you understand why every time I kept looking at you like, yo, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Why I was saying it that way. But that's just how it is. You know, sometimes, we put undue pressure on ourselves, not realizing that things aren't difficult. Nothing is difficult. You either know how to do it or you don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't know how to do something, then that's where the difficulty lies. And the only way to not make it difficult anymore is just to learn how to do it. That's it. That's what I learned. I learned that, any of my goals, the reason why it may seem difficult is because I never did it before. But the thing, like, I'm telling you, there's things that I do in my sleep that somebody could call me right now and be like, ask me, I'll give it to them asleep. And they be like, oh my God, it's so crazy. But it's something that I've done so long that it's easy to me. And because I've done it so long and it's easy to me, that people just like, oh, they're fascinated by it. But once they start doing it, they're like, oh, this was easy too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes all the time it's a mental game, right? Sometimes it's a mental game that has to be won first. All the time. Everything is mental. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing that you can do that doesn't involve the mental yet. So if you conquer the mental, you conquer everything else. I like this question. So Yax Max says, what's your advice on buying a restaurant in this climate? I would say that buying a restaurant in this climate would be a good idea in two ways, right? Number one, if you're buying a restaurant in this climate and you are you have a digital type strategy already, meaning that you're not only relying on people physically coming to your restaurant, then I think that you have to have that strategy down first, number one. Number two, have some type of contingency on how or thinking about how do you keep your costs down, as the world reopens up. And if the world reopens up and there's another outbreak, what effect that would have on you. So come in there kind of prepared, art of war, right? Like know your enemy, right? So your enemy is physical, people coming together. So figure that piece out of it. And then third, just make sure that the price is conducive to the risk, right? Because once upon a time, people were just buying things, just buying it because it seemed like lucrative business. But now there's added risk to owning a restaurant. And so that added risk and diminished reward should reflect in the price that you pay for that restaurant. So that's my thoughts. Let's see. Bryce says, do you still think the markets is going to crash? Just rewatch your Earn Your Leisure podcast interview. Yes, I still think it's going to crash. I don't think it's going to crash as hard as I said it on the interview. I do think it's going to crash. I don't think it's going to crash as hard. I think it's going to be a slight crash, and then a rebound is going to happen. And the only reason I'm still sticking to that is because I just think that if we're having a hard time with the coronavirus right now in the summertime, right? It's July. It's about to be August. It's the summer. And we're having a hard time with something that gives us flu-like symptoms. What the hell is going to happen when flu season comes? You know what I'm saying? Like I would have changed my tune. I would have said something different had we contained it, right? The coronavirus started in March, and let's say it took us 3 months to contain it. March, April, May. Boom. And then by June, the world started opening up. We contained it. By July, August, September, we're good. October-ish, flu season comes up. It peaks up a little bit, but then we contain it again. But we in July going into August, and numbers are increasing, which means that we never found the peak. We never, figured this thing out yet. And so if we're going from March, April, May, June, July, August, right? You're talking 6 months of having a pandemic and that we haven't had fully controlled over yet. No, nothing, to cure it or whatever, to stop nothing. And then, September, October, November, in about 2.5 to 3 months, the flu season is gonna pop up with this pandemic. I just see that things could potentially take a turn for the worse, and that's gonna have a major effect on the markets. So that's why I believe that. You know what I mean? But I hope I'm wrong. I don't benefit from being right. So I hope I'm wrong. But I have to, I have to give you my, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to give you my honest thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what you guys got for me right here. I gotta try out my new thing. Everyone for years, probably 5, have kept telling me to create an ebook. All is in the mind. Ashley-ish says, is writing a book hard? I bought mine right. I haven't started it yet. Mine right. Yeah, you should start. Writing a book is one of the easiest things that you could possibly do. And when you follow, and I appreciate your purchase, when you follow my guide, my step-by-step guide in Mine Right, you'll notice that the way I tell you to write your book, you could do it an hour, 2 hours a day. I don't tell people to write books anymore. I tell you to dictate it. Easiest thing that you're going to be able to do. And so after you dictate it, before you dictate it, there's 9 steps that I want you to do before that. And so you'll see what I'm saying when you go into the course, go into the program. But I ask you to do 9 things first. Those 9 things are going to put you in the best position to get the best book that you've ever written. I promise you that. I get great feedback from my Nipsey Hussle book. I wrote that in 8 weeks. Start to finish. Not even writing in 8 weeks. Forgive me. The writing portion took me maybe a week. Right? The other portions like research and getting his quotes and things of that nature is what took the bulk of the time. Had this been a book that I was just writing off of memory, I probably would have been done in a week, honestly. And I get great feedback from it. It's just because I did research. I had to, pull some quotes and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, love and respect and knowledge, bro. Salute. I appreciate you. Young what is it? Young Atalis. Also, is it possible to copyright a PDF workbook? You can. Yeah. You could copyright it. You could copyright it. You could send out. It's really the body of the work. The only thing with copywriting, you got to pay for the copyright. Do you need an ISBN number? I don't believe you do. Yeah, I think, but you could definitely copyright a PDF workbook for sure. And then if you go to like the Department of Trademark, I'm sorry for the shake. If you go to the Department of Trademark, U.S. trademark and copyright. They have the forms for you. It's gonna be the worst in the winter. Right. Let's see. And we're still at the first wave. Exactly. If you're not taking elderberry with zinc, if you're not need to start taking it now to build up your immune system. Yeah, yo, Fast out to Cuzzo. I took some soursop tea the other day. It's got me right. I actually finally bought my sea moss, and so I'm letting it soak, so I'm creating my gel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm getting right with the sea moss too. I have to look into the elderberry too. Shutdown Part 2 is coming soon. Grace the DJ. I believe that. More wine for you. 9AZZZZZ. I don't know what more wine. I don't know what you saying. Grace the DJ. Nutriburst me please. Fast shout to Nutriburst. Let's see. We didn't have a countrywide strategy. It was state by state, so the wave is moving across the country instead of dying down. I agree. Exactly. It's inevitable. The virus will get worse only because the government is not doing their job right. It's My Money says dictated how. So I'll give you this free gem, PK. This is all on my course, but I'll give you this free gem. So what I do is when I write a book, I start with the end in mind. I say, yo, if I'm writing this book, what do I want people to get out of it, right? So when I wrote Making Sense of Kanye, I said, yo, everybody think Kanye is crazy, and I wrote this a while back when he started saying that everything is love, and that's a universal fact, right? There's only two emotions in this world. There's love and there's fear, right? So the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear. Hate comes from fear, though. The reason why you hate something is because you fear it. Period. You don't understand it, right? If you're angry, there's fear, right? You're angry at something because you're fearful of whatever the outcome of why it makes you angry, right? So it's love and fear. That's it, right? And so I said, yo, Kanye's not wrong. Like, yo, everything should be in love, right? And so I said, you know what? There's no guide that talks about, financial freedom, peace, love, and happiness. So I want to write a guide that does that. And so I said, all right, I'm going to start with the end in mind. When somebody finished reading this book, what do I want them to get out of it? I want them to get a spiritual guide to financial freedom, peace, love, and happiness. So that's all right. I start at the top. And so I say, yo, what are the steps? What steps do people need to go through in order to find financial freedom, peace, love, and happiness? All those things. What are the steps people need to go through? So I outlined these 7 steps. And now, as I outlined these 7 steps, I then said to myself, okay, if that's what it takes, let me bullet point each of the steps, right? And I did that. And then I pretended as if I was teaching this to somebody, right? Like I was teaching this, like a seminar, and I voice recorded it. At first, what I used to do is I used to voice record it, and then send a voice recording of my teachings to Fiverr, right? To somebody actually was using Gina. I would send it to somebody to translate it for me, right? And then when I got the translation back, I would do my own editing or whatever, and then I add the pieces into it, right? And so for like, say with the Kanye book, after I got the pieces back, I then started adding Kanye to it to fill in the stories. You know what I'm saying? To make it more enlightening and exciting or whatever the case may be. Now I'm using an app called Otter, Otter. And so if you do it that way, start with the end in mind. Think about the steps that help you get to that end. bullet point each step, and then teach it. Each step is a chapter. You know, I say that a good book makes it 7 to 15 chapters should be good. There's some exceptions to it. So like Nipsey Hussle book, I had 33, not even 33, but it's like I have 33 Erminisms, right? So like if you read Hustlenomics, you know why I use the number 33. But in a normal or regular type book, 7 to 15 chapters is good. On your phone or your computer, there are apps and programs you could dictate to. Google Docs tools, speak with type. What kind of tea? Oh, soursop. 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 Look it up. You know, my cousin put us on, and it's helping me. They put it in the hands of the government to govern themselves. That's why we have so much. What is it? So much different symptoms. I have a friend that does CMOS smoothies. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the CMOS because when you do the CMOS, you get the gel, and then now you take I think one batch might last for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then so each I'm gonna take 1 to 2 teaspoons every day, put it in my smoothies, put it in whatever. Yeah. So I'm on that. Nah, it's my PK. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. This is dope. Soursop. What's the app again? Of Otter, and explain what it's used for. Otter, OTTER, and it's a dictation app. So it's a dictation app. Elegant Eleanor's. They about to kick me out. Let me see. Ooh, hold on. When writing a letter to remove negative items on your credit report, can you remove a late mortgage payment if you... I can't see this. The answer is yes. Anything can be removed, but they about to kick me out. Is the market crash? Do people lose money? Man. Sarcastically speaking, what is flu season? Is it the season when everyone is injected with the flu? Any suggestion for preparing financially? Yeah. So AUE Elax is the last question I'm gonna answer. Any suggestion for preparing financially for a possible second wave? I talk about that in my book, The Great Financial Reset. I give you 5 ways to do it. I've talked about it in interviews and stuff. It's called Reset, RESET. I'll tackle that tomorrow since we run out of time. Elderberry is good. CMOS and elderberry is good for maintaining. You are still congested. You need something to break up the mucus in your system. Check out DMs after the show. All right, perfect. All right. Neo, what up, my G? Salute, King. Yo, this King. Yo, if y'all wasn't on Mailbox Money Academy the other day, yo, my guy killed it. People are sending me notes right now telling me how he killed it. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. They about to kick me out. Instagram, I love y'all. YouTube, everybody. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Go to ashcashshow.com. Peace.